Okay guys, welcome to the first of hopefully a few live events. First off, just want to say a big thanks to everyone out there who's following us and has got us this far so far. Without you guys, obviously we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing, and I really appreciate it. So I told you how we had a bit of a treat today. A lot of people have been asking how I got into fishing and where everything started. So this is pretty much grassroots stuff for myself. We're out at my parents' place, so Dave Broman, inventor of Predator lures. So Dad's been doing that for quite some time now, and I thought I'd get him bailed up, so he sort of hasn't really been expecting it. We just sort of rolled in on him. But we'll take you into the workshop, give you a bit of a run through. But this is where I got started. So Dad was the one that got me into the fishing scene, and since then we've sort of been going at it pretty much full bore, I suppose. But Dad's been making Predator lures for a while, so we'll go on in and surprise him in here. This is where all the magic happens. This is his workshop. So here he is, the old boy. So this is Dave Broman.
Hi guys,
so,
how are you?
AKA Dad. Alright, so he started Predator lures, what, 25?
It's a bit over 30 years now.
So I am getting old.
Ago, yeah.
Alright, so 30 years ago, Dad started it, come up with the idea, was right into his fishing, or still is right into his fishing, and decided, hey, you know, I'm going to give this a crack. So 30 years, still making lures, and one of the best cod lures out there on the market. I know a few of the guys that have been following us on the Australian Lure Collectors Facebook page and stuff. We've seen a few of those kicking around now, and here he is, the man himself, the inventor of Predator lures. So I just thought we'd take a bit of a chance to go through the workshop here. Dad will give you a bit of a rundown on how everything's done and what's going on. If you guys have got any questions or anything that you want to know, make sure you let us know, and we'll hit the man of the moment up himself and get the word from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So, Dad, this is where the magic happens, I guess. It's pretty cold in here, so I think you need to get a heater in here.
I think I do, but yeah.
But anyway, so I suppose we'll work our way down here, and Dad can give you a bit of a run through.
Well guys, it's not much of a pretty sight really. It is a basic workshop, but in saying that, it does produce the goods, I guess. So yeah, pretty basic. If you like to come in a bit further, I guess this is where it all happens with the painting and so on. But possibly before that, we might just run through how the lures are made and so on. The lures are actually made for cod and yellowbelly. Basically, they do catch other species of fish as well, but generally that's what they're made for. We've got two sizes of hard body lures. There's a, sorry Jackie, we'll just move over here, but this is basically how they're made. There's two sizes of lure. This is what's called the 75 centimetre lure, and this is how it's basically made. This is an injection of the actual lure itself. This is how I actually get it from the moulder. That's a 75 millimetre one. This is a 90 millimetre lure, and if you can look fairly close at it, it's actually got three locating pins on the lure, which the figure 8 eyelets actually sit over. This is pretty much how all plastic lures are made. There are some that have got wire that goes straight through the lure, but generally this has been the principle of making plastic lures for quite a number of years. So the figure 8 eyelets are actually sat over the locating pins. Lures are, there's obviously a male shell and there's a female shell. Obviously the male shell is the one with the pins on it. So they're actually put together. They actually sit together and locate, and the lures are actually then welded with an ultrasonic welder, which ends up having a product like this. I know the light's not real good in here, but the lure comes, I actually weld the lures, and they come back. You can see the weld mark down the lure. It's got a ridge mark on it where the lures are welded. the ultrasonic weld, it welds for about 0.5 of a second. It actually vibrates the plastic together, and it creates heat, and it actually melts it together, and that's what that ridge line is down there. So that's how we get the lures back. We then actually clean the weld or ridge mark off the lure, and sometimes we need to sand it back, but ultimately I'll just try and find the lure here. That's how it ends up, nice and smooth. It doesn't take much to get that weld mark or ridge line off of it, if you like. So ends up being very smooth, and then it's pretty much ready for painting, which is the next step over here. So there's a fair process in painting. This is pretty simple. It's basic. It's probably not quite set up the same as what the lure makers would be, but
so one of the big things here, guys, with the predator lures, obviously cost always plays a big part in all sorts of stuff. Lures, there's no exception. But one thing you need to remember here is these lures are individually hand painted. Okay, so it's not a product run. There's no manufacturing line. It's not, you know, some robot doing the spraying, any of that. It's actually Dad sitting out here in the cold, and it's cold, painting all of these lures individually, one by hand. And when you really pay a bit of attention to the detail and see the paint job and the finish for these lures, you know, you'll see why you pay the money that you pay. So yeah. Anyway, I'll hand it back over to Dad.
Okay, so these are some of the painted lures. These colours here, except for the old Elton John colour here, but and again, it's the light's probably not very good out here, but you can see some of the detail in the lure. There's quite a bit of work in painting that particular lure. Maybe if I put it over here, Jackie, under the light, might be just a little bit easier to see. But that's one of the colours. We've actually got 25 colours that we paint. We've got 3 new colours. This is actually number 25, this colour, which is a new colour that we've just brought out. So it's come up pretty good, that colour. Looks quite good. Number 26 in the range is this colour, and these are actually 75mm lures as well, so just different patterns on them. Takes a little bit of work to paint these. As Daniel said, they're all painted individually, and it does take quite some time. There's probably 15 minutes work, I would estimate, in each lure from start to finish. Sorry, we've had a look at that one. So this is another new colour. This is colour number 27, which is sort of an orange colour, a light orangey colour. We've only had these colours in the range start of this year. Been out fishing with them. We've done quite well on the colours so far, so they look pretty good. We've also introduced in the new colours, the 3 new colours that I've just showed you, a deeper diving lure. It's got a bigger bib on it than the normal standard lure. That's the standard bib, if you can see it. It's got a much bigger bib on it, which takes it down possibly 1.5 meters deeper than what this one goes. The 75mm lure probably goes down to about 3 meters, give or take half a metre or so. This particular lure with that size bib on it do somewhere around 3.5 meters. Again, give or take a little bit. Depends on what size fishing line you actually use, whether you use a leader with it as well. So there's a few variants there as to how deep it can go. This one with the bigger bib in it will go down somewhere around 4 meters. So they've been pretty good. They've got a nice wide action to them. Nice wide action to them, and they have been really good on the native fish. Good lures to use. They're all Australian made. Some people may like that, some people may not, but at least we're trying to yeah, do it all within Australia. That's good in some cases. Some people need to go outside of Australia, obviously, to keep costs down, and that's fine as well. But good quality lures made in Australia, and they stand up to a lot of hard work, I guess you could say, as well. So we've got 27 colours in the range, although colour 23 and colour 24 we don't do. Bit of a story to that. I probably won't go into it now, but so yeah. The other thing we do with some of the lures as well, the colours that we've just shown you are new colours, but we've had colour 1 right up until colour 22 for almost since we started. We haven't changed the colours too much in that particular time, but in saying that, we've been painting a lot of other colours, and for instance, this is a box of lures. There's probably 200 lures in there with many different colours that we paint. Occasionally I'll just get an urge to paint some lures. As I said, there's probably 200 different colours in there of lures that we painted. Haven't introduced them into the range for a number of reasons, but yeah, I think I've got another box up here of colours as well. So I'll put these over in the light maybe, and these are more recent colours that I've painted, but again, there's a lot of different colours in there. There's probably 70, 80 lures in there that are all different colours. So we're trying different colours all the time. There's no reason why these lures wouldn't catch fish the same as the others, but at the end of the day, you can't have 50 colours in your range. So we've sort of stuck to the colours that we've been using. But in saying that, some of these colours are actually on our website. They are available to purchase. There's not many of these colours that are available. Quite often I only paint possibly 5 lures in the colour if I think I want to add them to the range, but yeah, some of those are available on the website. Some of them would be actually good collector lures as well. But,
so with that, Dad's sort of hit on a bit of a point there for the Australian Lure Facebook page there, the collectors. Dad has done up a signature series. He did 6 sets. There's only 1 set left. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that includes every lure or every colour in the range.
It does, up to colour 22. It doesn't include the 3 new colours.
So there's still 1 set of those left for those collectors that are out there. But the other thing that I want to sort of touch on as well, Dad sort of highlighted it. 30 years building these lures, and he's still got original lures that have been and caught numerous fish. People come up to him at the show and you know, say, I bought you lures back in the day. So they've been around for a while, and they're still catching fish today. These are the Western Red Cedar lures. So these were the original predator lure. So you know, they're still out there. They've changed a little bit. You can probably see the paint job's gotten a little bit better, if I'm honest with those ones. But you know, they had to start somewhere. These are the original wood Western Red Cedar lures. There's not many of them left anymore, so for all you collectors that are out there, keep your eye out for those ones.
Not many of these, sorry Daniel, but not many of these are for sale anyway. These are just, these were actually the original ones that I made. They've got metal bibs in them, and the bibs were actually painted as well. When I first started making lures, I just made a copy. That's actually a copy of an old stump jumper that I just made. And I only made a few of those, but it didn't take too much time. I had to change the shape of them. And of course they ended up being, or going to the current shape, which is a predator, well, obviously the predator lure shape. So that's pretty much a copy of an old stump jumper. So that's the new shape that we've gone to, and as I said, we only made about 2 or 3 of those particular lures. So
have a look at them. So banged up, caught the fish of a lifetime, and they're still about. Testament to the time that's taken and the quality that's put into making a quality Australian built lure.
So sorry, Daniel, you touched on the collector lures before. I just wanted to add to that. There's only 6 sets of those that have been made, and they're personally numbered. They're numbered set from 1 to 6. They're signed by myself and Jan, my wife, and there won't be any more of those made. So I've actually sold 4 sets out of the 6 sets. I've got set number 6 left, and I've got set number 1 left. Now I actually keep set number 1 of everything. I do specific lures and special lures that I paint for certain events possibly, and the Mull Whaler Cod Classic is one of those. We actually number those lures. We actually paint a specific colour for the sponsorship for that event each year. That's in fact, I've got some here. Just sprung on me pretty quick. This was, but this was, and again, Jackie, it might be better to show it in the light, but this was a colour that we painted for one of the years of the event. I'm not sure what year it was. Sorry, it's written on the lure.
2016.
2016, so that was last year's colour that we painted. You'll see on the back of it, the hook's in the way there, but that's actually numbered number 5. 2. Number 5 is it? I haven't got my glasses on. So I actually keep sets 1 till 5, so I've got the full range of those right from when we first started sponsorship, which was back in about 2008, right up to last year, which is the colour from last year, 2016. Some of those are available for sale. The people that have actually bought the collector lure sets have actually taken a couple of these sets as well, so they've got a full set of them as well. But I've got about three of these sets left. Obviously number 1 I will keep, set number 1, but the other 2, which is set number 2 and set number 2, I think is the only one available for sale. They're actually valued at $50 each, well, which I charge for them. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Chance to grab a bit of Australian lure history.
To grab some of those. I guess the other thing, mate, we do make spinner baits as well. Unless you need to go over any more of the hard bodies, I think we've sort of
I think that's about it.
Ticked that off pretty well. But
yeah, I think overall, so sprung it pretty early on Dad. Didn't know that we were going to do this. We just sort of rolled in and took him by surprise. But I just wanted to give you guys a bit of background from how we got into how I got into fishing. So, dear old Dad, as a young kid, money was tight, and obviously we didn't have PlayStation and all those other new dang things that we've got these days. So we got out and went outdoors and got into the fishing. So Dad was my inspiration there, and I've followed it up ever since. So if you want predator lures, or you're chasing some, jump on our Facebook page and PM us. We'll let you know how to go about getting them. Predator lures, we're trying to get Dad into the 21st century as we speak. So we're going to try and get a Facebook page up for Dad. It'll be a Predator Lures Facebook page, obviously. So once that's up and active, we'll let you know on Cuzzy Bro's Fishing. And jump on there, like that, give him a bit of a follow. Also, don't be afraid to send in some photos of those awesome catches. You know, the big cod that they're renowned for catching, and the big yellow belly as well. So overall, mate, thanks very much,
thanks,
big fella.
Daniel. And sorry if I could just mention, we have got a site for lures as well, which is on the Predator Lures website. You can buy them from there as well, but they're actually about the same, priced about the same as the highest shop price that they charge. So I would prefer people buy them from the shops, but they're not in every shop. If you want to, you still can buy them off the website. Thanks very much.
All right. So as we're closing out, guys, just a big thanks to everyone out there following us. Stay touched. You know, we're going to try and get out and do a lot more. Really want to thank you. Just keep those questions coming in, and as you guys keep asking them, we'll try and answer them for you. And stay tuned for what's to come on Cuzzy Bro's Fishing. Cheers.